Today is Tuesday, May 16th, 2023, and I had a very sleepy day today because last night I couldn't go to sleep until like 2 a.m. and I was dog tired. So this afternoon I took a snooze inside my company car while waiting for my daughter's phone being activated. So it was real good, a healthy dozing off, and I feel now energized. So before I hit the sack, I would like to read another article about peonies. Yesterday we learned that peonies are perennial, and also they grow well on the loose ground, and usually they are used for cut flowers, not loose flowers, and they are not troubled by disease and pests, and they have no rivals when it comes to growing growing well, and they are very winter hardy, and they grow well in the zones 1 to 8. But if it's warm, like in zone 9, then it's out of the league. It's very difficult to grow in a warm environment, tropical and subtropical areas. What else we learn? Uh, yep, peonies, they grow in numbers when by breaking off their roots, and the roots are used for herbal medicine in Korea. If you notice, the roots exude some gooey stuff, white gooey stuff, and that's generally good for blood and killing the outside agents like cancer cells and impurities in your blood. So as with today, let's read another article from Almanac. I've never read this article, and the reason I am trying to read this one is to practice English too. Yes, I'm Korean and I work for Korea Telecom KT, the number one carrier in Korea. But I have not been recognized well by my colleagues, and my promotion corporate ladder. Uh, Going up the corporate ladder has been stalled for close to 2 decades, and I feel shitty. And if my company doesn't treat me well, maybe I should jump the bandwagon and uh, maybe have another job with a multinational company where I could contribute well, much better using English. But that's another story. Just let's focus on these peonies. Here we go. Caring for peonies, 10 tips and tricks for success. How to care for peonies before and after bloom by Robin Switzer. Last updated May 6th, 2023. For daily wit and wisdom, sign up for the Almanac newsletter. One of the most magnificent mainstays of the garden is the common herbaceous peony, Peonia lactiflora. Yes, we yesterday we learned the pronunciation of foliage, foliar, and cultivar, right? Cultivar. That's the another breed that's the plant, a type of plant that is grown by selective breeding, cultivar. One of the most magnificent mainstays of the garden is the common herbaceous peony. See reasons why peonies should be in your garden, plus 10 tips on planting and caring for these beauties. Don't forget to support their heads. While September is the best time to plant bare root peonies, since they are dormant in the fall, container grown peonies can be planted almost any time. Container grown peonies. Container grown. We say vase grown, but actually a container grown is more general term. If you are looking longingly at your neighbor's peonies and wishing you had some right now, go for it. Magnificent. Container grown peonies, right? Container grown peonies. 6 reasons why peonies should be in your garden. 1. Peony plants are so long-lived that it is commonly said that peonies will outlive the gardeners who plant them. Note, they will not bloom in their first year, but once established, peonies may bloom for 100 years or more with little or no attention. That's amazing. They will not bloom in their first year. 2. Peonies also thrive almost anywhere in the country. Many varieties can even survive a zone 2 winter. That's a low of minus 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Even when they are not in bloom, their dark green, glassy foliage and shrub-like appearance make them handsome focal points in the garden. 4. Peony plants are virtually pest-free. Deer and rabbits don't like their bitter taste. I like that because I would like to plant peonies in my rice paddy up in the mountain hills where boars, deers, and rabbits are abundant. Right? Deer and rabbits don't like their bitter taste. 5. Showy and fragrant. Peonies will also make excellent cut flowers, not loose flowers, showy and fragrant. While September is the best time to plant bare root peonies, since they are dormant in the fall, container grown peonies can be planted almost any time. If you are looking longingly at your neighbor's peonies and wishing you had some right now, go for it, man. Peonies also thrive almost anywhere in the country. Many varieties can even survive a zone 2 winter. Many nurseries offer early, mid-season, and late blooming varieties, making it possible for you to stretch out the peony season over many weeks. Many nursing homes for flowers, nursery, or in the chicken coops, also nursery, but in this case, with this article is the nursery, the greenhouse usually. Stretch out the peony season. Stretch out peony season. There are 6 flower types to choose from. I didn't know. 1. Anemone, single, Japanese, semi-double, double, and bomb. Bomb. The colors range from pristine white to pink, peach, yellow, magenta, deep reds, and even bicolors. 2 colors, right? Bicolors. What is going on? Fragrances vary as well. Fragrance. Some plants, such as Festiva maxima and Duchess to Nomus, have intoxicating rose-like scents, while others are lemony or have no scent at all. If fragrance is important to you, give them the sniff test before you buy a sniff test. Give them the sniff test. Give them the sniff test. The sniff test. Fragrance. 5 tips for planting peonies properly. In choosing a spot for your new peony to grow, make sure it will get lots of light. 6 to 8 hours of full sun is best for producing a profusion of flowers, but it will still perform well in a location with morning sun and light afternoon shade. Peonies will not bloom in shade. Peonies will not bloom in shade. They will not bloom in the first year. They will not bloom in shade. 2. Peony plants will need well-drained, neutral soil, not compacted, away from competing tree roots. This plant will grow to cover an area about 3 feet in diameter and stand at 3 feet tall. So give it plenty of room and don't crowd. Okay? Don't crowd them. Don't crowd. 3 feet in diameter. Once planted, it can remain undisturbed for many years as long as it is flowering well. 3. Planting depth is critical. If planted too deeply, it won't bloom. When planting a container-grown peony, cover it no deeper than it grew in the pot. 4. Try not to disturb the root ball or damage the feeder roots. A newly planted peony can take up to 3 years to reach its full flowering potential, but once established, this plant likes to be left alone. This plant likes to be left alone. Itchy. These plants likes to be left alone. If planted too deeply, it won't bloom. When planting a container-grown peony, a newly planted peony can take up to 3 years to reach its full flowering potential, but once established flowering potential, the plant likes to be left alone. Do not disturb the root ball or damage the feeder roots. 5. Be patient. Note that peonies do not flower in their first year of planting, and it may take 2 to 3 years for the plant to bloom profusely. Once mature, a plant in sun can produce as many as 50 flowers each year for a lifetime of beautiful blooms. Wow, 50 flowers each year for a lifetime of beautiful blooms. Seeing ants on your peony buds? Don't worry, ants love to harvest the sweet sap covering the flowers buds but are harmless and may even keep other insects away. Supporting peonies. Peonies and support. Peonies need support while growing due to their heavy flowers and brittle stems of the larger flowering varieties. Peony rings were invented for just this purpose, or you can use a wire tomato cage. Wire tomato cage. Really? Wire tomato cage. Placing the support around the plants early in spring is ideal so you don't accidentally pierce the crown. Many of the newer hybrids are being developed with stronger stems to eliminate this problem, and single anemone, anemone or semi-double flowering varieties cultivars usually don't need staking. Staking. The plant will grow up through the support and eventually hide the wire. 7 tips on caring for peonies. 1. Deadhead peonies after they finish flowering. Petals will brown, which isn't attractive. Cut a stem underneath the old bloom, leaving the foliage alone. Cut a stem underneath the old bloom. Wait until the fall to cut back the foliage to discourage overwintering of pests. Wait until the fall to cut back the foliage to discourage overwintering of pests. 3. Mulch new plants with evergreen boughs or salt marsh hay after the ground freezes. Mulch new plants with evergreen boughs. Burrows, man. Burrows, Iran, burrows, right? Or salt marsh hair. 4. The only serious problem peonies ever get is botrytis. Botrytis. A fungal disease can be avoided with good air circulation around the plant. Signs of botrytis is blackened buds and stems. Cut off and dispose of any affected areas in the trash, not in your compost pile. If you plant properly and avoid crowding, you shouldn't have this problem. 5. Peonies can be susceptible to powdery mildew in late summer, but do not worry. The white powdery mildew fungus may not be pretty, but it seems harmless. Better air circulation can avoid mildew. Better air circulation can avoid mildew. If you share my passion for peonies, get out there, enjoy them. Pick lots of bouquets to perfume the house. Like all good things, peony blossoms won't last forever, and you don't want to miss a minute. For more information, see Almanac's Peony Growing Guide. So from this article, we learned such expressions as what? Cut back, overwintering of pests, stems, botrytis, white stuff, gooey ends. What else? Don't worry, they are strong, hardy, perfume the house, fragrance profusely, bloom, profusion. And what else? Well, what else? What else? I learned from this article. Support, staking, mildews. Oh man, 3 years. They like they like to be left alone once grown up. They like peonies like to be left alone. They grow well, loose. Uh-huh. Looks good. Looks good. The editors 1 day ago. For peonies to bloom more often, don't crowd them. Crowding, don't crowd them. They need plenty of space, 3 to 4 feet apart. Also, never plant them too deeply. If you place more than 2 inches below soil level, they won't often flower. Finally, note that recently transplanted peonies may take 2 to 5 years to develop their root systems to the plant is not mature enough. Transplanted. Other reasons peonies don't bloom include not enough sunlight and too much shade. Not enough sunlight and too much shade. A late freeze that damaged the buds. Interesting. Peonies, very hardy, enough space, don't crowding them. Susan D. Mikulusiak, not verified. I have several older plants but no or little sign of buds. One blossom each on only 2 of 6 plants. What do they need? They don't need anything. Okay, thanks for listening. Take care and have a good night.